performing at house parties again. It's hilarious to say, and technically, I guess it might be true, but dude, he probably got the biggest of bags to go perform down there. Like, probably did a record or two. Yeah, Michael Rubin is definitely a very polarizing character. I feel like the mystery surrounding him kind of like, dude, people are gonna literally come up with their own theories on who this guy is and what he means, like, to these people, and why these rappers are actually going down to these parties. The last time we had somebody throwing these white parties at this level was Diddy, and that definitely lends for like the public opinion to not be on the more positive side. But enough dilly-dallying, we're gonna jump right into the video. Again, it's entitled "The Creepy Billionaire Rappers Sell Their Souls To," parentheses, Michael Rubin.
I don't know Michael Rubin, but a lot of times
like
the nerdy whites, they want to partner up with the kids at the cool table. Snoop told a story.
Of course, because when they didn't have the money, these type of people would never give them the time of day. They wouldn't hang out with them. They were too cool to hang out with these guys. Money is definitely the great equalizer. These guys now can be around all their famous athletes and all their, the tech people now are definitely like celebrities in their own right now.
Story one time when he said the dudes from Uber was with Suge, and they begged Suge to come introduce them to Snoop. These dudes be going to Seed Capital. I just want to be around Kevin Durant. I want to be around Nas. I want to be around all of these cool people that I grew up on. I was the nerdy dude. Now I got enough money to mesh with them.
Everyone knows that money rules the world, and the rap game is no exception to that rule. But the puppet master behind many iconic artists is a truly sinister and creepy man. Michael Rubin is an industry tycoon, and his name really started circulating.
His eyes are so dark, fam. Like a little demon-esque.
Along with this embarrassing clip of gangster rapper Meek Mill, as some of you may recall, where bro was literally bunny hopping like an absolute psychopath on camera.
Yeah, that's wild,
bunny hops, Meek? Because you got your ass beat in tennis.
Nah, fam. That's too much, fam. The optics of this are fucking crazy, dude. If this guy was your friend, don't film it and put it out, dude. This definitely seems like a humiliation ritual. Meek has definitely not been seen in the coolest light since probably the Drake beef. A lot of it is probably his own doing. He does go on social media, and he does do a lot of cringe stuff. I don't know how he could be honestly really self-aware of it all, but man, some of these moments are crazy.
You got your ass beat. Keep going. Count out loud. Count out loud.
And it's slowly coming to light that he is your favorite rapper's favorite billionaire, orchestrating a large network of young black talents across hip-hop and even sports. Even the likes of 50 Cent have been seen clowning rappers close to Michael Rubin. From the outside looking in, it seems like a...
And 50's been pretty spot on when it's like time to expose some of these people. He's definitely been like probably first in line when it came to like anything like surrounding Diddy. A lot of it could be just trolling but the energy at these parties does feel super weird.
Pretty good idea to associate yourself with a billionaire, as there are countless benefits being tied
cornball too.
To such wealth. But the quote-unquote benefits that Michael Rubin comes with tend to be questionable at best.
Don't be making fun of me when I'm drunk. You're gonna get another drunken hug tonight. I don't care what anyone says. You're getting a drunken hug.
He gave him that prison hug, like the hug from behind that you know what I mean? When you get your visits, that's the hug he gave a little baby. That was definitely a little weird. This is like very cringe.
You too, drunken hugs are coming tonight.
It's your boy Luesta, and today we're gonna unpack the unsettling hold that Michael Rubin has on hip-hop culture. But before we...
It could also just be white boy fun. Like, yeah, man, I don't know.
Get ahead of ourselves, we gotta understand his origins in the world of hip-hop and the power that he holds outside of the game that you'll see extends farther than anyone really knows. With 11 big B's to his name, it's hard to imagine Michael Rubin ever starting off with humble beginnings, but that's exactly how the story goes. Like many kids, he started shoveling snow when he was only 8 years old.
This honestly makes so much sense if now he has the money to be around all the people he really wanted to be around growing up. Because, yeah, he probably did idolize these rappers and the athletes and stuff. Like, honestly, these are probably the coolest people in the culture.
And by the time he was 12, he had a ski repair shop that eventually raked in $125K a year. His keen eye for business carried into
like
adulthood, and perhaps his most important money move came in an early investment with Fanatics, the top sports merchandise company in the entire world. This wasn't a one-off expense though. Rubin loved sports, and he eventually was inspired to purchase the Philadelphia 76ers and became its most popular owner, despite
Oh, now honestly, the Meek Mill relationship does make a lot more sense. If Meek is from Philly, so I'm pretty sure Meek being at the games, he's going to be conversing with this guy, and this guy obviously loves like anything surrounding the culture. So it seems like yeah, he would gravitate towards Meek because Meek does and should have a Rolodex of people that Michael would probably want to get next to.
Sharing the team with several others. And it was courtside at a Philly game where he met the gangster rapper Meek Mill, fresh off the scene after coming up with moving and raw bars like these.
Some summer nights can even turn cold. In the streets of Philly where niggas don't even get to turn old.
Those braids are such a meme, fam.
My heart pumping to it turn gold.
The two men were from completely different worlds, but they would end up having far more in common than one would expect. And they would begin to bond over sports, business, and more. As conversation continued, no one would expect the can of worms that was about to burst open from this single interaction. And it would change the course of modern rap entirely.
So my daughter was just talking to Nikki, and Meek's like, in his way, he's like, who are you? I'm like, the Sixers guy. No. And then within a second, what I loved about Meek from the moment I met him, he just started peppering me with business questions. Like, hey, if I want to do this, how would you do that? And if I want to just do this in sports, and if I want to put this deal together. And in a lot of ways, he was a similar version of me from a completely different environment.
They continued to meet a few times as a friendship was truly beginning to form, and in their talks, Rubin would eventually learn about Meek Mill's ongoing legal struggle.
One night, maybe we'd hung out at the games maybe 10 times, and we were at halftime. And I'll remember this for the rest of my life. I said, hey, I'm going with some friends to the Brigada afterwards. You want to come? He said, I'm not allowed. I'm like, do you need permission from your mom? It's literally what I said to him. I said, you need permission from your mom? I was joking. I was being a wise ass. Yeah. He's like, no, I'm on probation. I'm like, how's this probation thing work? He's like, I'm not allowed to leave. You can't go across the bridge. 10 minutes. He's like, I'm not allowed. I'll get arrested. I'm like, what you doing?
Like crossing state lines. Obviously, he's on probation.
You see, Meek Mill was under serious pressure from a 2007 incident involving a case where he was locked up for illegal firearm and possession. He got 2 years behind bars plus 5 years probation.
His probation was probably the worst of all time. That dude, I felt like, was on probation for like 11 years, fam.
And when his probation period was supposed to expire, a hard-ass judge continued to hold him on a legal leash. And things would not change for him as he grew older, even though his rap career was flourishing. In 2017, Meek picked up more probation charges for popping Willie and getting mixed up in an airport brawl, violating his current restrictions. And when Michael heard about his new friend's struggle and realized it was a problem on the judge's end, he decided to step in.
I'm not gonna say who I called. I started calling people of importance to find out, is everything he's telling me true?
That dude is calling DAs, that dude is calling judges, senators. This dude is obviously plugged up.
Like, I was hearing all I was hearing was everyone loves him, but he's got this crazy judge. But you know what? I want to make sure
yeah, wasn't that the judge that wanted him to make a record for her? And like, yeah, man, the judge was tripping.
Always on guard. If you're in my situation, you're always. And so I kept getting back. He's done everything he's been asked from a probation perspective. He's well liked. He's a good guy. Yeah, he's a little bit on rap time sometimes, but this is a good guy. He's doing lots of charitable things. I wrote this letter, which I never thought it would become public. It became very public. I wrote this letter and basically talked about my relationship with him. I basically said, like, look, this has become one of my closest friends. Like, he knows my daughter well. He knows my mom. He knows, all of my.
See, Meek doesn't seem like a bad guy. He just seems like a guy that just does like a lot of cringe things. And like I said, I don't know how self-aware he really is. But like, he just never struck me as a guy that probably wanted malice for anybody. His biggest mistake, I said, was, diss Drake at that time. But right before that, the dude was hot. Like, yeah, everyone brings up, like, is this your girls' tour? Is this a world tour, your girls' tour? But like, at the end of the day, it helped. His stature in hip hop was definitely elevated, at least compared to what it was now. I want to say that project right before all this happened sold, if I'm not mistaken, like 200K first week, which is huge numbers. That's like superstar, that's like rap superstar numbers. But after that beef, his coolness took a hit. And like I say in probably every video, once you're uncool, you're uncool, and there's really nothing you can do to kind of wipe that stink off of like your reputation. You're just going to be considered a lame. Sometimes people can make a record and try to like regain some of that magic, but like really more times than not, usually they never like reach that zenith again, which is kind of seeming like the case for Meek, which sucks because the dude is dope. but at the same time, sounds do change, and if it takes you this long to get back, you might come back to like a soundscape that has definitely like passed you by. It's gonna be interesting to see how he does, but like whether it's like that French fried like picture or whether it's like him with like the sand on his face, like that dude, the dude just does so much stuff that like obviously the internet just eats up. And he could just be doing it just because he knows people are gonna talk about it, and he may be one of those people that like, all right, like all news is good news, but fam, at a certain point, you're the one creating these narratives, or you're basically just extending the life of these narratives. It is sad to see because, like I said, he doesn't seem to me like he's a bad guy. I don't know him, but he seems like a nice guy. I don't know.
Partners in the Sixers.
Despite Rubin's letter and his appearance in court during the hearing, the judge still sentenced Meek to 2 to 4 years in prison. This was a shocking verdict considering everyone involved had strongly recommended against prison time, including the parole officer. It was abundantly clear that the judge had a vendetta against the young Philly native, but lucky for Meek, he had a billionaire friend in his corner of the ring.
I look at Meek, and he always wants to be Mr. Tough Guy. His eyes turn pink. There's tears coming out of his eyes. I can't remember the last time anything made me tear up. I have tears coming out of my eyes.
I mean, when they're talking about taking away your freedom, obviously it's something big. Like I can understand getting emotional about something like that. You have family out that you're taking care of and stuff like that. When you go and get locked up, motion almost stops. Like, yeah, you better hope that you have music stocked up to release, but you can't tour the music. You can't really promote it like that, like maybe you have like access to social media while you're locked up, because now it's crazy. Everyone has an iPad in prison now, so I'm starting to see. So I can see why he'd be emotional about that.
And I looked at him, I'm like, I will not stop until you're out of prison and she's off the bench.
Good
and that's
ally
exactly what he sought out to do, pouring over $6 million alongside Jay-Z to hire the best investigators and lawyers to fight for Meek's freedom. And to Millie, it meant the world.
You're now sitting in an orange jumpsuit and you're still smiling from ear to ear. I don't get it. Like he said, if it were me, I'd be so mad. How are you happy? Meek sat there. He thought about it for like a minute. He said, Robert, I've been sent to prison 3 times for never committing a crime. This is my entire life. I've been in and out.
The thing is, once they put him on that paperwork, on that probation, it really doesn't take much to violate that. I want to say you're not even allowed to have any type of interaction with the cops. Like, even if you think it's a good interaction, it could land you back in prison. So it does suck. It is like something that, like you said, it's a legal leash that they put on these people. Where like, yeah, the dude, the last time he got locked up, I want to say, yeah, it was for that dirt bike thing. He was literally just popping a wheelie, like a lot of people do in the hood. It's not like a something, especially in Philly. It's part of the culture, bike culture and ATV culture. Like, bam, them 4-wheelers is like, dude, like, yeah, it's huge out there. He was doing something he loved, but obviously illegal, and that landed him in prison. You wouldn't think a wheelie could get you locked up for 2 years.
People are fighting for me. You're here to see me
That's
today.
the probation.
Michael's been here 20 times. There's a crusade to free Meek. This is the first time that's happened.
All that effort was worth it in the end, as the judge would eventually get revealed to be super corrupt, even beyond the courtroom. Aside from multiple weird cases on her end, she was also secretly spying on Meek and even demanded he drop her name in a song.
Yeah,
some
freaking
pretty
weirdo,
strange
man.
behavior. But the real win in all this was for Michael Rubin, who was quickly being hailed as a model billionaire and culture icon. He kept riding this wave when he established the Reform
I'll say this move by him is really, really dope.
Alliance with Jay-Z to combat legal system failures.
We said we're going to get 1 million people that are on probation or parole that shouldn't be out of the system. There was 4.5 million people at the time. This is 3.5 years ago. We've already cleared a pathway for 650,000 people that are on probation or parole to get out earlier from the laws that we've changed.
That's fire.
Michael Rubin was officially a hip-hop namesake, and the idea of having a rich white billionaire friend started sounding real good to young up-and-coming artists, especially this genuine, caring dude.
Let's keep this real. When you're financially successful, it's easy to give money away. Okay, I give lots of money away. That's easy.
Of course. At the end of the day, the money that you're giving out is really like such a small percentage of what you have. It's a lot easier to give out 100 grand when you're worth $11 billion. But still, it is dope that they do it, because a lot of these billionaires don't do anything philanthropic. They're not donating. If they do, it's literally just for like tax write-off. You don't really see too much benevolence.
What's hard is to do the work.
But it wouldn't take long for the more sinister intentions of the richest man in rap to emerge from the most unseeming shadows. And it was too late for those that flocked to him.
The friendship with Lil Baby, what was it about him and your guys' rapport that sort of connected him?
That picture went viral. It was so weird.
He's a great guy.
Baby is absolutely one of the best human beings in the planet. There's never been a thing I've asked him to help with, like from a charitable perspective with the Reform Alliance. There's never been anything. He's just such a great human being. I love his work ethic. When you hear his story, and I don't know anything about music. So when I met him the first time with Drake in the Bahamas in 2020, and he's telling me his story about, he was in jail a couple years earlier. He never rapped, and now he's got this great, kind of music career. You just want to root for the guy.
Rubin's new influence pulled in big names, Lil Baby, Travis Scott, and Quavo, to name a few. Successful people hang out. It made sense at the time, especially given Michael's recent investment into Meek Mill. But a noticeable pattern began to emerge in these relationships that made people question his intentions.
Why are you doing bunny hops, Meek?
Yeah, this is really like dehumanizing. Like, I get it. It's like it seems like a silly bet, but optically it looks crazy. And oh, bro, in the back, like, dude, it's not making it any better, fam.
You got your ass beat in tennis. You got your ass beat. Keep going. Count out loud. Count out loud. Keep going. Keep going. Don't cheat on your bunny hops. They suck. Your bunny hops suck. You got 250 more to go.
Super weird dynamic.
Yeah, it's almost like some freaking like slave master shit. I don't know, it's really cringy.
And the internet exploded when they saw what was going on. Bro, this is some house slave type shit.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
exactly,
hop for you, massa.
fam.
When he lost, he went straight to hopping too. Man, the rap game is nothing but a modern day plantation. I discussed the situation in much more detail in my video about how Meek Mill destroyed his career. But one takeaway from that video is that this was all weird behavior for a man like Meek Mill. A respected street artist who really portrays the image of a gangster. It just felt really weird for him to do something like this. And due to all the negative,
I mean, the dude helped him out when he most needed it, so he probably does feel like indebted to this guy. If you're a friend, I don't know if like putting this on live is the best for them.
Publicity he was receiving, Meek Mill tried to explain that this was a game played in prison. But of course, that only got him flamed even more.
Someone tweeted at
Yo, please, if anybody can confirm that, please in the comments, put that in, because I've never heard of that. And I have a bunch of homies that have been locked up.
him, how much did they pay you to do this? This is the first time he's addressed it. Keep in mind, there's all these Diddy rumors about Meek. There's this, what I believe to be a fake audio about Meek and Diddy engaging.
That was crazy, fam. Do not look that up, please.
Engaging in some wrestling for the cereal like he used to do with the, like he said he used to.
I think it's been debunked. I think I saw like a podcast where like somebody was like it came from like from some corn video or something.
People have this assumption that Meek is doing zestivities with Diddy or potentially gay. I don't believe that. So he says, this is a game I started from prison. We used to make killers do bunny hops when they lost because it was too hostile for money. YouTube channel, the link. This be us. I'm gonna get Rubin to bunny hop for me, okay? LOL. I'm gonna teach him D-Thang hop. I don't even know what half of this means. The fact that he said we used to do this in prison and we used to make killers do bunny hops, this is one of those things where if Meek was right next to me and showed me the phone, anybody really, I'm looking at him like, dog, that is not what you want to send out. You used to make killers do bunny hops. What? What are you talking about? And then I'm gonna get Rubin to bunny hop. And this is the thing, him getting Michael Rubin to bunny hop for him has no effect on.
Well, it doesn't change the public perception on him. He's gonna get looked at the same way after he does that. They might get a chuckle out of it, but with Meek, it's definitely putting a lot more of a stigma on him, and it doesn't look good at all. Obviously, I don't care if you did this in prison and if that's true, but that's wild too.
On Michael Rubin. Most people don't even know Michael Rubin is the owner of the company that he owns.
The clip of him doing bunny hops got so much attention that it resurfaced amid the Diddy allegations a while back as well. To make matters worse, this wasn't an isolated incident, as Lil Baby was another rapper who was a victim of one of Rubin's house bets that caught people's attention, and not for a good reason.
What's the bet?
I go to sleep from 5 to 4, you get 6 braids.
6 braids coming off your head. 6 braids off the back of your head if you fall asleep from 5 p.m. until 4 a.m. My entire head. Bet.
Bets between friends aren't unheard of, but
yeah, but you can make those bets and then not call them in. Like, yo, if me and my homie made a bet like this, I'd be like, yo, bro, don't worry about it. You definitely not doing it. I would suggest you don't do it.
The eerie part of all of this is that we never even seen Rubin lose. It leads us to ask questions like, is Lil Baby really gonna get into Rubin's bed and shave his hair? And if Meek lost that bet to anyone else, is he really letting his homies post the video online? The answer is obvious, and the truth becomes crystal clear when we see Kanye, one of the most high self-esteemed humans to ever walk Earth at this point, get talked down and demeaned on a post.
So this is what really happens with Peter, Evie, Kanye. What we do on our way to a Vogue event, ribs and french fries.
So what does Rubin have to say about all this? Well, he will tell you that these are all mutually beneficial relationships, and the business mogul knows he can get to these successful artists for tips and
No, I will say this. The rappers and the celebrities that are at these parties definitely want to rub like shoulders and elbows with these people, you know? They want to get into these spheres. They want to like know where to invest their money. They want to get in on these deals. You'd be surprised how many rappers made more of their money in this side than the actual music. The music, at the end of the day, is just a platform for them to sell whatever they're going to sell. With 50, it was vitamin water, TV shows, and stuff like that. These rappers do want to get to these people because they have the connections to, like, honestly facilitate a lot of these business ideas and just give them game. Because some of these people may not be as educated as these, like, billionaires, obviously, when it comes to, like, finance and just business in general.
Ideas as well.
You were asking about Baby before, and like, you know, does he come to me for advice? He comes to me for business advice all the time, but I go to him for advice on stuff too. I'll ask him like, hey, will this, you know, is this a good idea or a bad idea?
While this could be true, the real benefit for Rubin, besides...
I feel like Michael just gets like the coolness that comes with being attached to these people. You're on first name basis with some of the biggest like musicians and celebrities in the world. So I feel like for him, I think that's the exchange that's really going down. Like they're getting like access to like these billionaires, and these billionaires can say that they hung out with a Drake. They can say that they hung out with a Lil Baby. Yeah, for them that might be the biggest flex.
Besides whatever freaky stuff is going on behind closed doors, is the marketing leverage that hip-hop superstars give him and his companies. And rather than being a pushover guy paying these rappers to be around and do his bidding, it really seems like Rubin is the guy calling the shots. Even in this incident with Meek Mill on a private jet.
Mike, get up off me, dog. You heard me, Mike? Get up off me, man. Look, this man on my legs, y'all. Get this man.
Whoa.
Don't be making fun of me when I'm drunk. You're gonna get another drunken hug tonight. I don't care what anyone says. You're getting a drunken hug. You too. You too. Drunken hug.
He knows. It's because Meek already knows what having this come out is gonna do to like their image. He's already been. It's like he's a glutton for punishment because he knows that this Rubin dude is gonna keep embarrassing him and just keep making him do demeaning things. And this is a person that's supposed to be your friend. And obviously, like I said earlier, he probably feels indebted. The dude did help him get out of prison. But, bam, at the end of the day, if this is supposed to be your homie, you don't treat homies like this. This is like embarrassing.
Hugs are coming tonight.
This isn't all speculation either, as we've seen him utilize a culture shifter like Lil Baby to promote his Fanatics gear on the track Merch Madness, a campaign where tons of merchandise was given out to fans. These rappers were playing chess, but Michael Rubin had them in checkmate from the beginning, pulling rappers into business endeavors and still capitalizing on their influence.
And he's the one cashing out big.
His use of rappers as pawns is enough to make you speculate his intentions, but the real red flag begins to dissolve whenever we look at his more elevated social life, specifically his strange white parties.
You gotta investigate this Michael Rubin party a little bit further. Y'all think it's a little strange?
Yeah, like I said, like people connect like the white party with a lot of negative things because Diddy had his like famous like white parties and stuff like that where a lot of shit did go down. So if this person is hosting the same type of event, and that being said, a lot of people host white parties. It's not like an uncommon thing. Tons of people throw them, but like it still doesn't change the fact that people do see these parties as at the very least being very weird.
What?
What? Help me out.
The consistency of the A-list celebrities that go there.
Sometimes I do wonder if like Mel is acting oblivious on purpose, or she truly doesn't know. Like in the acting world, it's probably just as heavy and prevalent as it is in like the rap world. I'll say that.
The hugging. What other party in the universe do you see that many
of that level,
protect those relationships.
A-list people at the same spot at the same time.
This annual Michael Rubin White Party isn't what it sounds like, but might just be as strange and worth investigating, and most of all, disturbing in its nature. This high-profile gala is littered with...
If you notice, he doesn't even invite his like friends to the white parties. It's basically just celebs. I think he's even like spoken on that as well.
Every A-list person on the planet. Even people far outside of Rubin's circle will show out for what is possibly the biggest elite social event every single year. We're talking Tom Brady to Jay-Z, Kevin Hart to Kim Kardashian, even Drake was recently seen there, looking like bro.
The infamous fucking Drake picture where he looks more like Dennis Graham cosplaying as Drake.
It was absolutely done with everything happening to him lately. Basically, anyone considered an elite society is invited and most certainly attends these packed parties. Of course, the first assumptions from outsiders were Illuminati comparisons, and some even pointed to Rubin himself as the leader. There's even an eerie resemblance to this crowd and Jared Leto's cult. To even be considered for an
Now, I will say this, that if there is an Illuminati, because at the end of the day, most people that like claim Illuminati, it's just a marketing like scheme that they're trying to run. But we're not gonna know who the real person like leading the charge is. Like, obviously, I don't think he'd be the leader. They'd be more like middle management.
invite, you have to be at the top of the famous profiles. So it makes sense that anyone would want to show out. But what's strange is the presence of guys like Baby, Quavo, and Meek, who are all far below the status of these other guests. Their attendance seems a little bit out of place, and questions got raised, especially when they found themselves in more questionable scenarios.
Oh yeah, you see the infamous back hug, fam. That I don't know, man. That infamous back hug is wild.
Hands of Michael Rubin.
Now, what in the is this? Ain't no fucking way.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers.
Yo, that's a crazy picture too, man.
Got him in a reverse Oreo and he showed all teeth. That guy, Michael Rubin, he needs culture. I listened to him on a podcast and all he talked about was trying to sell to culture. Well, here's the thing. You having $1 billion don't matter if niggas don't fuck with you. So what is it in your benefit to do?
It's that coolness. Like I was saying, he's getting some... I feel like this is probably the most anybody's ever talked about Michael Rubin. The dude's been seemingly rich for a long time. Owner of the Sixers, successful guy. It wasn't until he started hanging out with rappers where his public profile definitely changed. Dude, probably like tenfold. So yeah, he probably just could be seeing these people as pawns, and he's using them to like further his businesses and stuff. Because yeah, he's giving some advice here and there, but what he's getting that high profile, the coolness that comes with it. And dude, his business, he's basically selling like memorabilia and all this other stuff, which is right now probably like one of the hottest commodities you could have.
Befriend the hottest, like throw the best parties. Who knows how much money? He probably lost millions off of this party.
With the Diddy Party activity,
that's a lost leader though. It's like how musicians will do rap and like I hate to bring up Diddy, but music was his lost leader. He'd do music to just get the platform to be able to sell his vodka and all the other stuff he was basically like peddling. Like a lot of these people do that. Like, so yeah, it's not surprising that obviously he's willing to like spend like, dude, probably like honestly a few $1,000,000 in this party to be able to like get like the most talked about event. When these events happen, they're pretty much like the biggest news story, and everyone is always like analyzing it and stuff like that. You'd be surprised. Nas has made way more money investing in tech than he ever did from rap. Tech, the rap definitely did help him get into these rooms and get in on like the ground floor on a lot of these investments. So yeah, it's like it's just one of those things that they do just to get the clout and just get eyes on you, basically.
It's no surprise that people are beginning to question what goes on at the Michael Rubin estate. With culture floating around Puff Circle just 20 years ago, the same strange occurrences seem to be unfolding around a 51-year-old billionaire, especially given his relationships with the top of hip-hop. And now we're left to wonder why what lies ahead seems both familiar and uncertain.
Yo, what the f? That says Rubin on his underwear,
hell
yo.
No, fam. Pause.
I just
unpause. Fast forward.
Yo, Michael Rubin got the hose. Is that real?
Crazy.
Yo, that's crazy. Yo, is that real?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
God.
You're uninvited, bro. What are you doing here? I'm sorry, fam.
Damn, bro. Yeah, Michael Rubin got a chokehold on this shit. Like,
yeah, fam.
I ain't seen somebody have a chokehold on this shit in a long time.
I don't know Michael Rubin.
Yeah, we don't really know Michael Rubin either, but yeah, he seems like he's done some like benevolent things, but we don't know for what reason. He helped Meek out. Maybe that's why he feels so like indebted to him, and that he keeps running into these embarrassing situations. But yeah, as far as the other people, I feel like they are around him just to kind of soak in like the business. Who knows if other stuff is going down? I don't know, but these white parties do have like a negative like stigma around them. Even though, like I said, there's tons of white parties that are being thrown around the world where like devious and sinister things aren't going. Obviously, this is what's going to happen when you have like the most elite celebs and athletes and stuff like that all under one roof. People are going to wonder why they're there. These people, like I said, these rappers definitely want to get in these rooms with these people because these people are the ones running these like tech companies and these like financial firms. And dude, these people want to make more money. Everyone knows that that's where the real money's at. But like, yeah, man, there's a lot of seedy stuff with this. He does seem like he's using them. I feel like maybe he is friends with Meek, but like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't like embarrass my friends over something like this, especially like live like this. You can roast on your homies. We all do it. But to make your homie bunny hop and embarrass him when you know that's going to affect their brand and image, like, dude, you're fucking them up. Because like Luisa said, it's very different if Michael Rubin were to bunny hop. You wouldn't look at him like, oh, it was like suspect at all. It would just be like, oh, he's having fun, fam. But yeah, it's definitely a weird situation. Time will tell, you know, how this pans out. He could just be doing this just to make millions off of them. They brought up a article basically of like him securing a $250 million deal. So, dude, if he has to hang out with some rappers to do it, and I feel like he's one of those that probably like, because he didn't grow up in that lifestyle, he probably like, dude, fetishizes it and wants to be a part of it, even if he has to like use his money to flex and his wealth and stuff like that. But I'm not anyone to say how he should go and spend his money or flex or anything like that. I just hope that nothing weird or sinister is going down, but you never know. Especially with the stuff that's been coming out this year, dude. I feel like anything is plausible. Would you be surprised if any of these acts like were to come out and have like some type of crazy scandal? It's been crazy. People are trying to get at Jay-Z right now, and this is somebody that really like he was, dude. He's been beloved since the beginning of his career, since like 97, 96. You know, the dude's been on for a while, but there's definitely a lot of rumors and allegations that have been like swirling around him. So that the time will tell on that too. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think Michael Rubin's like true intentions are? Do you think he's like sinister or deviant, or do you think he's just trying to like, all right, rub shoulders with these people and be the cool guy in his group of friends because he gets to hang out with rappers? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Definitely hit the like and subscribe button, guys. It does the channel wonders. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are freaking amazing. And dude, the channel's doing dope, and it's all because of you guys. So yeah, hope you guys love the video, and I hope to see you guys soon.